everybody, it's so good to see you all again. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a goldfish. Alright, we're going to draw him out on paper using a pencil. We're going to start with some basic shapes to make the body. We're going to add in some details to give him a face and his fins. And we are going to make him look realistic by adding texture. Alright, so we're going to get started by making the shape of our goldfish. Alright, and the main shape that makes up a goldfish's body is an oval. Alright, so we are going to draw an oval on our paper. Alright, remember, go slow and careful, and if you need to stop and fix a mistake, you go right on ahead, right? Part of our job as an artist is to make mistakes and fix our mistakes when we make them. Whoops. Like I just made a mistake. So I'm going to keep on going and finish my oval. Okay. And now I can go in and I can erase my mistakes. Okay. Alright, so remember, you can do that too. If you make a mistake, fix your mistake first and then erase the mistake lines. Alright, so now that I have my oval for my goldfish's body, I'm going to make his tail. Alright, goldfish have really beautiful tails that are made out of two triangles. So I'm going to start back here on the back end of my oval. I'm going to start drawing my triangle. And I want it to be a very tall triangle. Alright, and then I'm going to come down, and then I'm going to stop right here. Alright, I want my triangle to end right there. Okay, because we have to draw another triangle. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Draw a triangle. Alright, and then we are going to connect our two triangles together. Okay. And remember, if you make a mistake like I just made a mistake, you can fix your mistakes. Alright, do you guys see how when I do make a mistake, I fix my mistake first and then I erase? Otherwise, sometimes we forget and then we end up making the same mistake over and over again. So fix your mistake and then erase. Alright, so my fish has a body and he has a tail, but he needs some fins so that he can swim. Alright, and goldfish, when we're looking at them from the side like this, we can see that they have 4 fins. They have a fin on top, they have 2 fins on bottom, and then they have one little tiny fin here on the side. So we're going to draw those. Alright, we're going to start with the ones on the bottom. There are 2. There's one in the front and one in the back. The one in the back is a rectangle shape. So we're going to draw a tiny rectangle. Alright, and our rectangle is going to lie on his side. Alright. Then we are going to draw the front fin, and the front fin is also a rectangle. But instead of being on its side, it's going to be a little diagonal. Alright, we're going to start towards the front. We're going to draw down with a diagonal line. Remember, a diagonal line is slanted like the lines on our triangles. And then we're going to draw the bottom of our rectangle, right? And then bring it back up. Alright, so it's like a little rectangle, alright? So we've got the tail, we got the 2 bottom fins. Let's draw our top fin. The top fin starts as a diagonal line going up, and it's very tall. It's just as tall as the tail. And then it's almost like a triangle, except it curves on top. Alright, and then we're going to come down, and then we're going to turn right, and we're going to make a little horizontal line, and then we're going to go back down. Alright, just like that. It's like a weird little mountain on top of our fish. Alright, so now before we can add in, we have one more little fin here on the side, but before we can add it, we need to give him some gills. Our gills will help guide us so that we know where to draw his last fin. So to draw his gills, we're going to draw a backward C, right? We know that the letter C goes this way. we're going to draw a backwards C. So our C is going to be really wide, and it's going to go like this. All right? And we're going to start here at the top, just in front of our top fin. And we're going to start here at the very top and draw a big backward C. Okay? Then we're going to draw another backward C right next to it, but it's going to be really tiny. All right? Just a little tiny one, a little baby gill. All right? So now he has gills. And gills are what goldfish use to breathe. Air can flow through, water flows through them, and their bodies can get air out of that water when it's in its gills. All right? So now we know where to draw our last fin. Our last fin is going to be just behind the gills, right here. And it's going to be a very tiny oval. All right? And on one side, the side that's on the body is going to be pointy. All right? Like a triangle. So I like to start by drawing a little baby triangle. And then I come out from my triangle and I draw a little skinny oval. And then I connect it to the other side of my triangle, or a little arrow. Right. Once I've drawn my little oval fin, I can take my eraser and I'm going to erase all the little pencil lines that are inside that oval. And when I do, it's going to make it look like this fin is in the front, like it is in front of the body. Okay. All right. And this is the shape of our goldfish. All right, now, but it doesn't look done yet, right? It's missing some stuff. All right, so what we're going to do now is add in some details and some texture so he looks real. All right, so we're going to start by adding the details on his face so that he can see and he can eat. All right, so to draw his eye, we're going to come up here to the top part of his face. We're going to draw a circle. All right. And then we're going to draw another circle inside of it. And we're going to color that circle in. All right, we want the inside of that circle to be black. All right. And then right here in the front, we're going to give him a mouth and we're going to give him a frowny face. All right, fish have mouths, but the way their mouths sit on their face, they always look like they're frowning. So we're going to give him a little frowny face line. All right, and now he has a mouth so he can eat, and he's got some eyes so he can see. Alrighty, so now we're going to add some textures to his fins to make his fins look more real. And we're going to do that by adding a pattern of lines. We're just going to add a few wiggly lines that follow the shape of the tail. Alright, we're just going to draw a few little lines, a little pattern of lines that follow the shape of the tail inside the triangle. All right, and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to draw just a few little lines. Your lines will not come all the way up to touch both sides. They're not going to come all the way across. They're going to start at the body and they're going to end just below the bottom edge of our fin. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this fin. Start at the body and end just before we get to the other end. On this fin, we're going to start on this edge and make little diagonal lines. All right, just like that. And then for the top, we're going to start at the body and draw up, and we're going to follow the shape, right? We want to follow the same line as the edge of our fin. Okay, and we're just going to draw our lines up. Okay, just like that. All right, so we used, all right, and that helps his fins look more realistic. Now we have a pattern of lines to make his fins. And now all we got to do is make the pattern of his scales. All right, so let me show you. All right, so what we're looking at now, this is a super close-up picture of a goldfish. All right, that way we can see his scales. All right, and we can see each of these little shapes is a scale. All right, so if we were able to take out the scales, we would see that they are oval shapes. All right, they're kind of ovally. Some fish have circle ones. Some fish are like circles that are pointy on one end. All right, but there are circles and ovals that overlap, so we only can see part of the shape at a time. All right, but by drawing the shape over and over again on our fish, we can make the same pattern. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, to start our pattern, we're gonna start along this gill. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a bumpy line. All right, so we're gonna make a line like this. All right, it's like drawing the letter M. I'm sorry, I just realized that you couldn't see that. We're gonna draw, it's like drawing the letter M, but we never stop. We're just gonna keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. All right, that is how we're gonna make the fins. I'm sorry, that's how we're gonna make the scales. We're gonna start along our gill. We're gonna start very at the top, and we're just gonna make our little bumpy line all the way around. And it's okay if not all our scales are the same size and shape. Okay? Just like, all right, fish don't always have exactly the same shape on their fins, so that's okay if our fish is a little special too and has different fins. Okay. I'm just going to draw a little bumpy line. And we're going to do this all the way across our fish. As you get closer to the middle where our oval is really fat, your little bumpy lines, your scales are going to get bigger. All right, and then as we get back towards the end, they're going to get smaller again, okay? So I'm going to keep going, and I want you guys to keep going too, but I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead, so the next time you see my fish, he's going to have a lot more scales on his body. All right, guys, so as you can see, my fish has a lot more scales on him now. They start out really tiny, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and now that I'm closer to the end, they're going to get smaller again. And I'm just doing exactly what you're doing. I'm just continuing making my bumpy line all the way around, all the way from the bottom of my fish to the top of my fish. And now they're getting really tiny, getting super tiny. And I'm just going to keep going until the whole space is full of scales, just like that. All right. So now my fish has a whole pattern of scales on his body to keep him safe. Scales on a fish are like armor. They're there to keep the fish safe from other bigger fish. All right. So now all I have to do to finish my goldfish picture is I just need to color him and I need to give him a background. I made a goldfish earlier. All right. And this is the goldfish that I made earlier with some of the big kids. All right. So I did the same thing that you guys did. I started with shapes, right? I made an oval for his body, and I used triangles for the tail and rectangles for his bottom fins. I used an oval for his side fin, and I did our weird little mountain shape for his top fin. I used this same bumpy line pattern to make his scales. All right, I used color pencils to color my goldfish. All right, goldfish, they're orange on the top and on their fins and tail. And then they're yellow on the bottom, and they have a little white patch right under their mouth. All right, so when you color yours, you can make them orange and then yellow on bottom. All right, and then you can make your background if you want to make it all blue like mine. You could also give him some friends, maybe some food to eat. You could show where he lives. Maybe he lives in a coral reef or in a kelp forest, or he lives around some seaweed. All right, so you can color your picture just like I did. And I use color pencils, but you can use whatever you have that you want to use. You can use crayons, you can use markers. All right, you can use whatever you would like to color your picture. I can't wait to see what you guys make. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.